at the Fairgrounds Coliseum, Chad Sennett pinch hitting this afternoon, along with the coach, Jack Greathouse. And, Coach, what adjustments do you make during a halftime when the team's up 22 on you?
Well, I'm not sure that, one thing, they're going like a special defense here on Kevin, and so they've got Brett out here, so now coach is going to make, oh my, that's not what you want to do is turn it over, but Coach Solinger now Solinger's got to decide, okay, do we just want to come out and get after these guys? And it looks like Coach Kaufman wants to pull them out, and that's a good move. We just turned it over there. As we turned it over, it's a good move, but honestly it is. Truthfully it is.
Moore with the ball goes right side to Rose. Northland, as I said, down 22. Have the work cut out for him, certainly, against this big Gale Force squad. Working the ball around now, finds Rose again. Rose back to Moore. Moore takes a couple steps into the paint, kicks the ball out, and a nice soft shot there by Darren Houghton. Jordan Lucas with the ball. Flips the ball over to Brett McKnight on the right side. McKnight inside the paint. Kicks it back over to Lucas. Lucas inside to Chris McKnight. He says, take the three. Okay, I'll do that. Off the right side. Devin Moore had the ball. Was knocked out of his hand by Lucas. And Chris McKnight missing the bunny shot. And now Northland on the attack. 6:28 left in the third period. Had a quick first half there, Coach. That zone defense on both ends of the floor really speeds things up a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's definitely done that, and of course again now Northland really doesn't look like they've changed anything here.
Making some adjustments. Of course, we are seeing some man here at times, but really there's no full court pressure to speak of, and the clock, as a result, keeps moving. Brett McKnight, a little spin move, and it's going to be called a jump ball. Northland possession. Northland's cut it down to 18 here, and Coach Kaufman says, let's talk about this for a couple seconds.
You know what? It's nice. It's nice when you get a little bit, they've cut it to 18. I don't ever remember that. Man, we had to bleed. We were sweating and bleeding to get those 1 point. We were squeezing 1 point wins, and that's just that's a real credit to them,
I remember my old man. My father coaches in Logan, for those of you that may not know that.
Oh, great job. Randy Sennett. Great job.
Varsity assistant down there. We were in the locker room one time a couple seasons ago, and we had the same kind of thing. We're down 20, and Dad goes, now remember, we don't have to get it all at one time here. We have the whole half of the game to get it all. So you try to frame it as good as possible there to see what happens. And I think Northland's in that same situation here. They're not giving up, though. That's what we always like to see out of a young squad. Northland working the ball around top of the paint and off Brett McKnight's foot. And here's Kevin Carr. McKnight with the rebound. He's going to be pushed in the back. And he'll go to the line for two. Foul on Trevin Durham.
42, Trevon Durham is first.
And McKnight for two. To push the lead back to 20. Here's the first. Goes in with these.
Boy, he's really improved, and you are looking at the all-time leading scorer. He got that a few points ago, and very, very deserving. That young man has worked very hard and deserves everything he gets.
Moore pushes the ball to the floor for Northland. Decides to pull it out. I'll tell you more. I'd like to see him fill out that frame a little bit. He has a lot of good speed. What a great player all over the floor.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. They're going to be good now, and they're just a year or two away. They are going to be good. You can bet on that. And Coach Solinger will do a great job with them.
Carr directing traffic and finds McKnight and one. Back to the line he goes. He's got that record. Now he's going to keep throwing points on there to try to get someone to come after him a few years later. Make it a little difficult for him. Northland making some substitutions here. 4:57 left in period 3. Chad Sinnott and Coach Jack Greathouse here at the Fairgrounds Coliseum. A nice Lancaster crowd here for a late afternoon ball game.
You're not kidding. I am very impressed and very pleased with that. That's great. Great support. And these young men, they deserve it. Trust me, they deserve it.
Special team. Special team. I'm so proud to be a part of the high school faculty that is blessed to have such fine young men in its buildings. Here's Moore now inside the paint, back outside the three-point line. Trying to penetrate, but it's tough to penetrate against this Gale squad.
Yeah, they're playing good defense and doing a good job.
Look very sharp today.
Cornley looks like a freshman right there. You know, he had 2 points at half, and Moore only had 6, and that's really key when you hold those two to 8 points.
Here's a jumper that goes. Andre Rose.
Now, Rose is a senior. He's one of the guys they will be without.
Carr goes to Lucas, over to Brett McKnight rather quickly. Now back out to Carr. Carr says no pressure. I'll take my time here. Goes left side now to Lucas. No shot clock in high school basketball, so they can take all the time in the world they need to. It's like a battle of wills here. Ball continues to flip back and forth here as the clock runs.
Well, they had to trap and let it up.
Shot off and Lightnicker ball.
Oh, no. That's a wrong call.
And now it's coming back to Lancaster.
I know you're an official. I know you're an official. No. Okay, they got it right. That's good officiating right there. That seriously, that was good.
You would say that as a former.
That's right. Hey, I love officials. Are you kidding? I was presented at my retirement dinner. They gave me a striped shirt. Are you kidding?
Nice shot there. I will say this. A good official will let his partner, if he's in a good crew, will let his partner say, hey, if you're 100% sure you've got that call and I'm wrong, you overrule me. And that's what this crew here has done, and that's a sign of a good officiating crew.
Yeah, really, they did a great job. You're exactly right. I'm not an official, even though many of them said I officiated the whole game when I coached.
McKnight finds Lucas near the top of the key. Inside now to Lightnicker. Back out to Lucas, who's going to shoot a 3. Oh, off the back of the rim. McKnight up and in.
Great job.
2:38 left in period 3. The score 46-24. Lancaster up 22. And playing great basketball at the moment. And boy, if that doesn't get this Lancaster community excited, nothing will. In the corner to Moore. Back out on top to Mutton. Back to Moore.
Yeah, he walked.
Travel
there.
with it.
Sure did.
Lancaster basketball out on the side here.
You know, Chad, again, we want to thank our sponsors, Professional Screen Printing, Shane Ohl, we really appreciate that, Edwards Insurance Agency, All-Star Auto Care, they're always there, and Gary Sunoco, Glass City Barbecue, tremendous sponsors, we really appreciate that, and just, you know, we want to tell those sponsors, hey, jump on board, this is going to be quite a ride here.
Absolutely. You know, we're happy to have the sponsors we have, and of course, always looking for more. Nice shot, but deflected by Northland. It'll be Lancaster basketball on their end of the floor. Coach, how do you find it? Just using your experience here, how do you keep a team sharp when, you know, and of course, I'm not taking Northland for granted or anything like that in this case, but you're up 22 here. How do you keep your team, when you have a fantastic team like we do at this point, how do you keep your team sharp through early round tournament games?
Well, you know, it's tough because, you know, but Coach Kaufman obviously has done that. And I think one of the things is he's got 8 seniors that are smart enough. They realize, hey, look, we have got to be able to prepare for each team and each game. And I think the seniors have bought into that we got to be ready to go every timeout, because they know last year, they were up in that Westland game, and it was just just like ripped our heart out.
Lightnicker with a big block.
Just got our hearts ripped out last year in that big disappointing loss. We were up late by 10 points with 3 or 4 minutes to go and lose the game in the tournament to a very good Westland team. I want to remind everybody that wasn't just a slouch team. That was a team that was like seeded, I don't know, second or first or something. They were really, not first, I don't think, but they were seeded very highly. And, oh, man. But anyway, I think you keep them sharp just by good crisp practices. You change it up. You have little competitions. You don't drag it on and on. You can't go 2.5 hours now. You just can't do it. You got to keep your team fresh. And I always thought that our teams played pretty darn well in the tournaments. We were always ready to play. We put a lot in the barrel at tournament time. I think that's, because that's how you're judged in basketball. It's not so much the conference. It's not everything else. Hey, I still believe that the tournament is the biggest thing in basketball.
Chris McKnight with 3. He'll sit down. And we'll see a couple new faces coming into the game. Kyle Stoughton and Drew Swinehart making their first second half appearance.
And, Chad, one thing I want to mention, too, is I know another reason you do mentally as a coach is just like Coach Kaufman this week. He was talking about Northland. He said, I remember it being 18-13 having to call a timeout. They were ahead in the second quarter. He said, that team's very capable, and they've played some good basketball at times. So he was prepared for Northland's best, in a close game. And I think your players sense you. And I think so that you got to give a lot of credit to Coach Kaufman and his staff as well.
Lancaster with a commanding 22-point lead, 46-24, 41 seconds to play in the third period. Swinehart with the ball now. Northland not quitting here. That's a sign of a team with a lot of heart. Here's Swinehart now, goes right side to Lucas, back out to Swinehart. Finds Kyle Stoughton. Back to Swinehart. 5 count started. Waiting for someone. There he comes. Kevin Carr with the ball. 10 seconds. Down to 8. Here's 6. Carr. No, off. Stoughton bats it around. Northland has an opportunity for it. No. And so ends the third quarter. Lancaster up 46-24. A few messages. We'll come back for the fourth quarter right after this.
LSN, in cooperation with Interface Video, presents Lancaster Golden Gales Tournament Basketball. The Gale Force is funded in part by All-Star Auto Care. All-Star, providing full-service auto maintenance and repair on all makes and models, including Mercedes-Benz, by a factory-trained master technician. Located at 283 Cedar Hill Road in Lancaster, at All-Star Auto Care, experience counts. Owners Rick and Pam Barnett extend best of luck in the tournaments. By Professional Screen Printing. Professional Screen Printing has served our community and Central Ohio for over 45 years, providing silk screening and embroidery services, along with a large selection of specialty items to also help promote your company, school, university, as well as golf, bowling, and little leagues. Professional Screen Printing, located at 742 North Broad Street beside North School. There's something new at Gary Sunoco. He's still your full-service center offering quality fuel, tire rotation, tune-ups, and major and minor repairs, but Gary is proud to announce that he is now a U-Haul dealer. You can rent dollies, hand carts, and local and one-way rentals of trucks and trailers. Gary Sunoco with easy access, located right off Route 33 at 1100 North Memorial Drive, your newest local U-Haul dealer. By Edwards Insurance. At the Edwards Insurance Agency, located at 650 East Main Street, they've been serving Lancaster since 1952. They can take care of your needs from auto, home, health, business to bonds, motorcycles, motorhomes, and mobile homes. You can reach Todd or Dale Edwards at 653-4004. Edwards Insurance, your independent insurance agency. And by Glass City Barbecue, offering a full menu featuring appetizers, salads, entrees, specializing in pulled pork sandwiches, along with your favorite cold beverage. Let Glass City Barbecue host your next event, banquet, or class reunion. For atmosphere, great food, and a location easy to find, Glass City Barbecue, 391 Lincoln Avenue in Lancaster, open 7 days a week.
Back at the Fairgrounds Coliseum, Lancaster in the driver's seat right now, 46-24 to begin the fourth period of play. And Coach, I'll tell you, they've got this thing well in hand.
Well, they do. That quarter was not a high-scoring quarter for either team, but I think 8 points apiece. But that goes into our favor, and we're looking at it as we're just trying to win games. Or they may be looking at it as just trying to play close to us. You see a little ISO clear out to Chris there at the beginning of the quarter.
His shot comes off the back of the rim, rebounded by Northland. Here's Moore. Moore had that wide open there to himself.
Yeah, he's a nice-looking player for a sophomore now.
Carr with the ball. Seeing a little pressure now in the backcourt by Northland. Trying to get something going here to keep their season alive. Picking up some pressure we started to see at the end of the last period of play. Here's McKnight. Chris McKnight keeps adding numbers and numbers and numbers onto that record he now holds, Coach.
That's right. He's going to put it up there. But I'm going to tell you about those records. There's some little guy out there maybe watching this that's got 1,000 shots in this day that's that's saying, hey, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that.
That's what they're for.
That's right.
That's what they're for, to motivate people down the road to get after it a little bit, I think.
Well, I know this, Greg Cave. Greg played 3 years there for me, and Greg just did an outstanding job, and he was very proud of it. He came back for the 1,000-win celebration. He knew that Chris McKnight was probably going to break that record, and he said, that's great. I mean, that's just how, again, it's team, it's program. That's what this is all about. Great job. Nice pass. Oh,
McKnight misses the shot. Leitniker on a rebound and is pushed. He'll go to the line for two.
No, that's what I am so proud of, this whole thing. It just makes me so very, very proud. I'm just so excited, and yet I know, too, and I want to caution everybody that you have to play every game, and basketball is a game of, we're going to stack up physically with everybody that we play, and better than most, and probably all, most of them, but we still have to execute.
The ball was spotted on the floor. Pass from McKnight to his brother, and Brett makes the lay in there. And Northland on the attack. 6:15 to go in the game. Lancaster up a comfortable 22. The rebound, stick back, Carl Alexander there. Right place, right time.
And he's a senior. That's somebody I bet Coach would like to have back to go with Moore and Cornley, because he's really got a lot of athleticism and really great timing.
That's the sad thing about high school and college basketball, Coach. You can't keep your guys. They got to move on at some time.
They got to move on.
Here we go, Northland.
Oh.
And it's going to be a charge call. Lucas started to fall backwards a little bit. And Coach, we're going to talk from different perspectives here. Me being an official, you being a coach. But you know what? I will say this: players are taught, try to take a charge, try to give it a little bit, fall back a little bit, and take that kind of thing. I'll tell you, it's a tough call to make.
It is a very tough call to make, and I always felt like if it went for me, it was a good call, and if it went against me, it was a bad call. That's how I judged it, But truthfully, it is. I think the block charge is probably the toughest thing to call. It truthfully is. And the other thing that's tough, too, about officiating, these players are so big, so strong, so fast today that it's just really difficult, as athletic as these guys are. The high school, I've been watching my son play, at Western Carolina, and it is so physical. I watch these high school games, and I've said it before, it almost seems like a different level because of just, it's so much more physical. I mean, you're getting elbowed and shot, and guys are playing on, everybody's hurt, everybody, all the time. It's just part of it. You just go on, So.
Fouls on Alexander, puts Leitniker on the line.
And these college guys, like I was here the other day, and I know this true for my son's team, Marquette practiced 2 hours the day of the game. I mean, it's just incredible. It's just such a different game. It really is.
Not to get off the topic of basketball, but quickly, I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about how professional football players used to have full-time jobs and would show up on Sunday.
Yeah.
They'd practice almost like high school kids do. After work, they'd go about an hour, hour and a half, and
Right.
they'd show up to play their game on Sunday.
Yeah,
Just
that's
where
really
sports have
different.
gone the last half century. It's just amazing. Lucas steals the ball right back, and here we go to McKnight. Yes, nice lay-in from his brother.
And you see that again now, Jordan Lucas made that kind of play. That's that kind of play that we're talking about from Jordan Lucas, and another great pass from Chris McKnight to brother Brett McKnight.
Northland down 24.
And I want to remind you, we're up 24, but this is a very good Columbus City League team, a team 13-7. I mean, and we're just making them look like they're not even there. And, you really, again, you got to credit these kids the way they play. And obviously the coaches have done a great job with them. And I sound like a broken record, but
Brett McKnight going to the line for two. This Lancaster crowd has a lot to be excited about.
oh, that's awesome. See that kind of play and a little no look. And, I always minded, I never minded no looks as long as they made the play.
As long as in the end looked like they were looking.
As long as the guy they were no looking to was looking.
Back against Northland, 23, Russell, 45.